That can in your pantry right now, it looks harmless, predictable, familiar. You've used it before, maybe for years. But what if the day you open it, it's already hiding something dangerous? A vitamin level off by just enough to cause kidney failure. Rubber mixed into gravy your cat swallows too quickly to notice. Foreign proteins from euthanized animals ground into cans labeled premium beef. And what if the only difference between a safe meal and a medical emergency is lot code 1167? Because that's the part brands never advertise. They show you trust. They sell you routines. But the part you need most isn't on the front of the label, it's behind it. In the lab, in the sourcing doc, in the recall nobody told you about. Let's break the silence. Every year, wet cat food gets shinier, softer, more seductive. But the decisions, they get harder. Because what they're really selling isn't just a can of food, it's faith. And for too many families, it's been betrayed. Yearbit 10, IAMS. For generations, IAMS was the recommendation, vet shelves, pet store displays, the gold standard, the science-backed middle ground, trusted across decades. Then came the recalls, 2007, 2010, 2011, 2013, wheat gluten contaminated with melamine. 43 IAMS products pulled, cats and dogs dying from acute kidney failure, rapidly, irreversibly. Not from poison marked on a skull, but an industrial chemical that mimicked protein on a lab test. The betrayal wasn't just one mistake. It was a system that kept failing. Thiamine deficiencies found in batches, salmonella in veterinary formulas, aflatoxins, known carcinogens, slipping into formulas sold as clean, safe, nutritionally optimized. You pull back the tab, the smell is normal, your cat eats the whole thing. But behind the gravy texture and thermal sealed lid are risks your pet's kidneys may not be able to recover from. One senior rescue cat in Michigan lost all appetite overnight. Blood tests confirmed toxic exposure. The owner never got a recall notice, only found out 2 weeks later through a Reddit thread. It wasn't a fluke, it was a trend. And IAMS kept shipping. Number 9, Friskies Bright Cans, cartoonish joy, a brand that feels like youth and budgets and ordinary Tuesday dinners. Friskies has been in American homes longer than some marriages, but lately, it's been a name whispered on pet forums with fear. Batch codes like 1157, 1159, 1161, thousands of owners reporting vomiting, bloody stools, sudden deaths. Same symptoms, same cat food, same denial. Cats who ate Friskies for years suddenly refusing it, or getting sick within days of opening a new case. Petitions bloomed, screenshots of lot numbers, side-by-side comparisons of texture. The smell? Off, some said. And Friskies insisted nothing was wrong. They claimed the food was safe. No testing posted, no recall issued. Just polite press releases and business as usual. Families, especially those with tighter budgets, kept buying it because they always had, until the bowl cost them everything. One owner called her vet in tears. Her 18-year-old cat passed away within 3 days of starting a new can. Same formula, same feeding time. One small change, a new delivery batch, and now, silence in the hallway where paw taps used to echo. Number 8, Blue Buffalo. You pay more because safety matters. You choose natural. You trust the name that sounds clean. But premium doesn't mean perfect. In 2010, lab analysis showed excessive vitamin D in Blue Buffalo's recipes. Not a little high, toxic level high. Vitamin D toxicity in cats leads to lethargy, kidney failure, vomiting, death, and you don't notice it right away. The can looks beautiful, chunks in rich gravy. The smell? Familiar? Your cat? Hungry. But day by day, as calcium rises and phosphorus builds, the damage mounts. And by the time your vet checks levels, it's irreversible. One cat in Oregon healthy, adult, no medical issues, went into acute renal failure in under 2 weeks. She was eating a new batch of Blue Buffalo, told to be safer than anything else. In that case, safe tasted like slow destruction. You trusted the marketing. But safety isn't a slogan. It's a number on a lab sheet they never showed you. DUR7, Hill's Science Diet. They put science in the name. They wear the lab coat in the catalog. For cats with kidney disease, thyroid issues, you don't guess. You buy Hill's because your vet told you to. Then the 2019 recall happened. Elevated vitamin D. Again. This time, from a supplier's premix that Hill's didn't test thoroughly enough. Precision food for fragile cats became precision poison for kidneys already losing the fight. These were prescription-only diets. Owners using syringe feedings, pill pockets, monitoring fluid intake down to the last drop. And inside the can supposed to help? A toxic dose. Here's why this one cuts deeper. The cats were already sick, already weak, and for some, that mistake was the end. One rescue in Arizona lost 6 cats in a single week, all seniors, all on Hill's prescription renal diet. All gone before the company posted a public explanation. Science, when done wrong, is worse than guesswork, because we assume it's flawless, and trust turns fatal. Number 6, Royal Canin. It's sold in clinics, in sterile white packaging, with strict formulas tailored to condition and breed. The whole pitch is precision. And in 2023, Royal Canin mixed up the formulas. Veterinary renal support bags contained the wrong formula entirely, not less phosphorus or a mild mismatch. A completely different nutrient profile hidden in identical packaging. You buy the food, you portion it out. Your senior cat eats it like always. But instead of feeding kidney support, you're flooding their system with phosphorus, sodium, protein levels their treatment plan can't handle. By the time blood work shows it, damage is already done. One vet flagged it only after 4 patients got worse, all on that same Royal Canin bag. The label was right, the food inside wasn't. And for cats living on microscopic margins between health and crisis, that level of negligence isn't just a mistake. It's a betrayal in a lab coat. Number 5, Wellness. The name promised something. Clean, gentle, wholesome enough to feed without second thoughts. Glass jars, minimalist type, that "We Care" energy printed into every thread of the label. But care isn't printed, it's proven in the lab. And wellness? Drop the test tubes more than once. In 2011, thiamine deficiency, that B1 disaster again. Neurological damage starting quietly, in the spine, in the eyes, in the movement. Then came mold, moisture levels off in cans. Then metal fragments. 2017, customers opened what looked like clean food. Inside, slivers the eye missed but a mouth couldn't. A jagged bite turning dinner into dental trauma. Because trust doesn't always break loud. Sometimes it breaks as your cat flinches, and you wonder what they just chewed on. One woman who fed wellness exclusively before noticing a change in behavior. Her cat, normally playful, went silent, stopped climbing, started shaking by week 3. By the time they connected it to thiamine loss, damage had embedded. Some of it, permanent. Holistic wasn't holistic, just another shelf-painted version of a broken system trying to sound nurturing. 4. Special Kitty. This one's for the families scratching pennies, for shelters feeding 20 bowls at dawn, for anyone who saw the price and said, "This will have to be enough." Walmart's in-house feline brand. Affordable, accessible, but behind that accessibility is a history too costly to ignore. 2007, melamine contamination. 2008, salmonella. 2017, thiamine deficiency. 2019, unknown. Health concerns triggering a full recall without clarity. Thousands of cans, pulled. not because of a spoilage report, but because the company couldn't confirm its own safety. Think about that. They asked customers to remove food from bowls without knowing what might go wrong, just knowing that something would. And that's what happens when you buy from brands with no transparency, when ingredients can change without notice, when oversight is bottom of the budget. One shelter in rural Missouri lost 4 cats within 72 hours. Same batch, same label. But nothing the company ever said confirmed the why. That's the surface of this truth. If a can's safety depends on luck, it doesn't belong in homes that care. Number 3, 9 lives. Everyone knows Morris, the orange cat, the swagger, the smirk. 9 Lives built its legacy on affordability, on happy nostalgia. Cans passed from grandparent to parent to grandchild. But there's a crack in that history, a repetition that crosses the line from mistake into pattern. Multiple formula recalls for insufficient thiamine. The same mistake, again and again. And when a brand forgets to include the same essential vitamin for a carnivore species more than once, it's not a case of oops. It's a company cutting corners too close to the edge. You open the can, it smells right. You stir it gently with the fork. Your cat eats, but inside, vital neural support isn't arriving. And 3 weeks in, your cat begins to stumble. Neck curves, eyes wobble, walking becomes a slow, unsteady drift. It's called ventriflexion. It's a classic sign. And by the time you see it, it's already been written into the nervous system. One woman cried into the parking lot of her vet clinic after learning her cat's symptoms were textbook thiamine failure. And it had happened before. Same brand, same hole in the formula, same silence until too late. Number 2, Purina, multiple lines, Fancy Feast, Pro Plan, Beyond, Friskies. Again, Purina is the juggernaut. They feed millions, billions of servings across countries, cities, rural towns. Their scale brings supply. It also multiplies risk. When Purina gets something wrong, they don't hurt a few. They hurt everyone. Salmonella, foreign plastic objects, vitamin issues, contaminated imports impacting dozens of products at once. Because the batch wasn't just large, it was everywhere. Once it ships, it hides in kitchen cabinets, in shelter crates, in living rooms where cats are sick. But no one has connected the lot code yet. One shelter stopped accepting Purina donations altogether after multiple cats developed GI symptoms from the same stockpile. By the time the brand sent out the alert, those cats were already in quarantine. Nobody expects mistakes on that scale. But it's exactly scale that turns one error into a crisis. A factory skips a step, a supplement miscalculates, and the ripple hits millions of bowls. No matter the sub-brand, when you buy Purina, you're playing probability, and the odds aren't always in your favor. Gear 1. Evangers, this isn't an error, it's a nightmare. In 2017, Evangers pet food tested positive for pentobarbital. That's a euthanasia drug, the kind used to put down dogs, the kind that causes drowsiness, collapse, and death. And it was found in their premium beef, wet food. Not a whisper, not a rumor, a confirmed FDA lab result. 1 dog died, 5 hospitalized. Dozens more quietly disappeared from pantries across the country as owners searched for answers. Then came worse news. The beef wasn't even beef. Testing showed DNA from horses. The company blamed a supplier. The supplier proved it wasn't true. FDA inspectors found unsealed containers, mold, peeling paint, open sewers near where food was being stored. This wasn't pet nutrition. It was biological chaos, masquerading as safety with words like human grade printed along the side. A woman in Ohio wept over her empty counters, holding a can with a label she trusted. Sadiu, that may have ended her pet's life. Evangers got by for 82 years without a recall, until one moment shattered everything and reminded all of us, even the premium brands, can be hiding something fatal. Nothing about price or aesthetics or warehouse location matters if the systems are broken where it counts. This isn't about panic. It's about clarity. Your cat can't read lot codes. They can't smell chemical imbalance. They don't know what thiamine is or why too much vitamin D can kill. They just trust you, completely, silently, even when the bowl isn't safe. That kind of trust deserves better. So after digging through the mistakes, the recalls, the betrayals masked as premium, we found two brands quietly getting it right. Not perfect, but serious. They don't shout in supermarkets. They don't flood sponsored content with words like holistic or veterinarian formulated. They just test, they verify, and then, and only then, they ship. Number 2, Koha. Some things hide behind simplicity. Clean labels, straightforward recipes, minimalist fonts. Koha was built on the idea that fewer ingredients mean fewer problems. And in a world full of vague proteins, muddled averages, and batches made from what's cheapest, that matters. Every can of Koha sticks to a single identifiable protein. You know what species your cat is eating. You know where it came from. You know how many gums, preservatives, and sweeteners got left out. 0 carrageenan, 0 gar gum, 0 gelled mystery meat, just moisture-rich food with ingredients your body recognizes. Open the can, you smell meat, not metal. You stir, and it spreads evenly. No gluey resistance beneath your spoon. One customer with a 15-year-old Russian blue said their vet saw kidney numbers drop 2 points after a switch to Koha's high moisture line. Not because of a miracle, because good hydration plus its balanced nutrition isn't marketing, it's math. And Koha shows the work. Their food is manufactured in US or Canadian facilities. They test for heavy metals, bacteria, nutrient levels, and make that data accessible. That's not a trend, that's accountability. For cats with food allergies, irritable bowels, renal issues, or dietary restrictions, Koha gives you every variable clearly, which means better data, better choices, better outcomes. It's not flashy, but it's real, and real doesn't quietly poison. Number 1, Tiki Cat After Dark. If Koha is simplicity, Tiki Cat After Dark is transparency with depth. It doesn't hide its parts, it shows them. You open the can, there are organs, whole animal proteins, chicken hearts, liver, gizzard, visible, not pureed into anonymity. That may sound unsettling, but for your cat, it's perfect. Organ meat means real taurine, real nutrients, less dependency on synthetic additives. Hydration, about 80% moisture. That's broth-based water bringing relief to kidneys at every meal. Texture, shredded, pull apart, no filler, no paste. You can see muscle lines in the meat, just like food should reveal itself when it's not engineered for shelf illusion. One woman with a diabetic senior cat tried After Dark on a vet's advice and kept feeding it because her cat, for the first time in months, finished the bowl without a glucose spike. No corn, no potato, no rice, no carbs in hiding. Just functional, species-appropriate food, built like cats are built. Manufactured in US facilities, batch tested for contaminants. No carrageenan, no peas, no gums meant to stretch a few cents further. And perhaps most important, each can honors appetite, not with salt, but with intention. After Dark is everything most companies pretend to be, and in a category this saturated with noise, quiet honesty stands out. Here's what all of this adds up to. Not every label is a lie, but most were written by marketing teams, not scientists, not veterinarians working in the trenches with aging cats, kittens refusing to eat, or seniors trying to hold on to kidney function just a little longer. They designed labels to feel safe, to nod toward trust, to make you exhale as you drop that can into your cart. But you can't taste vitamin D levels, you can't smell pentobarbital, You don't know what died in the factory before the mixer turned on. So you hope. And that's what this video breaks. Not your budget, not your memory of the brands you once loved, but the quiet illusion you were never supposed to question. Because when a factory lets mold slip by, when a company mislabels prescription diets, when salmonella batches move across states without a halt, it's not just a slip, it's a design flaw. And your cat pays, not all at once, but slowly, through a refusal to eat, weight loss no one can explain, renal markers shifting just enough to start the next level of medications. You didn't feed poison, but you fed a risk. On repeat. So do this tonight. Check your pantry. Really check it. Pull the cans, read the lot codes, search the brands. Do the work most companies hope you never bother with. And if what you find raises questions, switch. Your cat doesn't need advertising. They need food that works with their body, not against it. Labels fade, but damage lingers. Choose Koha when you want simplicity. Choose Tiki Cat After Dark when you want transparency. Choose questions over assumptions. Choose accountability over routine, because they don't know what you're feeding them. But they love you enough to trust it'll be all right. They curl up beside your shoes. They greet you after long days. They sit in small windows of soft light and remind you that the world makes sense again. When you give them safety, we owe them that. They want one that's smart enough to protect, soft enough to nourish, honest enough to deserve a bowl. Before you go, hit that subscribe button. We don't just review, we expose, from hideaway recalls to lab-proven failures, to the marketing myths brands hope you'll never challenge. So like the video, tap subscribe, and join thousands of cat guardians already asking smarter questions. Because that bowl should never cost more than you realize too late. Feed sharp, check lot codes, and keep rising.